Right, so this was a really good bout between Cannone and Anokin. Anokin obviously being a fencer from Russia, and I think he is an absolute monster. Very hard to fence. So politics aside, like just the actual pure matchup is actually it's crazy. Anokin is so strong with the blade, fast guy, very physically, like very strong. I've damn near ripped my wrist off trying to oppose him. So I thought it was a really good stylistic matchup. And then both fencers have a lot of flair. Stick around to the end because Hanokin kind of does some interesting gesture at the end. So stick around. We'll go through it because I did get clarification on it. So let's have a look, right? So Kenan being a bit of a bee stinger, right, always moving, and Anokin he's like a weird kind of tank counterer. So the actual matchup is super interesting. It's super cool. Obviously, lots of tensions for obvious reasons with the Russian fencer, and or should we say the AIN fencer, and Kenan being right defending world champ, and he had just gotten off a very rough bout against Bayard, so he had to pull off a pretty crazy comeback. All right, so let's make that not too loud. Okay. Thankfully, this was recorded on the non-commentary stream. So Kenan comes out right, pretty hot right off the gate. So we'll go through this match relatively fast. Right, Nanokin is not afraid to call him out. Right, if you can see, Anokin did probably did some homework. He's already launched before the feint even leaves. He was probably expecting to counterattack a little sooner because you can see he's looking for the blade, and then they both miss. So very already off, like you can tell. But both these sensors are there to play, and you see like there's not even anything malicious. I just respect both ways. So this is something I noticed Canon does a lot. So he'll start his feint, and he'll just right. So right now he's just at a distance where if Anokin actually extends, he will get hit, or if he looks with him. But if he does nothing, nothing will happen. But he extends and gets hit. So very good distance management. If you're looking to like practice something like that yourself, you got to know your hand hit distance, right? So where's the distance start? About tip to tip. One aggressive step in. Oh, distance has changed very suddenly, but not enough to get punished unless it's a deep flush. And then Oaken's kind of on the back foot. He just kind of extends and gets hit. When I say it was planned, yes and no, but I think he just kind of put a shot in the dark there. Right away. So this drawer pull, Kenan typically pulls it out. Right? So imagine drawer pull, you take the drawer up, open the drawer, close it. This only works if you know your opponent's going to parry. And it's going to be like, it has to be a very deep, scared parry. So this, depending on your opponent, right, especially Anokin, early in the bout, he's already a little shook from his hand. So he's going to be a little hesitant. Big distance. Now look at this, right? Small step, threat. Right, you see the threat here. Windshield wiper. No matter which way he goes. 8. Can't quite get it. Cannon's already in. This is a really risky move. If you're doing this move in your bouts, you need to be sure that your opponent's going to parry. Okay, this is usually a surprise attack. Very hard to set up. But you need to surprise your opponent to know that they're going to parry. It's a bit of a cheese. These will usually, very rarely, these work more than once or twice. And Enokin just not respecting how fast Cannone is. In. Distance is in check. Foot landed. Already there. Actually crazy. Like, just distance management by Cannone here is actually just crazy. If you could take anything away from a French gripper like Cannone, it's know your distance. So now a bit more forward from Enokin. This is a really good adaptation, right? Preparing with his tip forward. And look how strong he is. He's not even grabbing the blade. Like, it's middle to middle. Like, typically, on the normal, like, typically, if you grab normal to normal, like a middle to middle, it's really hard to actually control the blade. This dude just does it without even blinking. Right? Distance typically super big. And Cannone can see this coming. Right, so realistically, maybe Enokin was expecting another front foot plan, but it was a little too far. But still, very close, but the duck, it was just from a little too far. It was really cool over the bout, though. You can kind of see the gears taking in Enokin's fencing. It does evolve every time. It does evolve over the course of the bout. Let's fast forward a bit. So here now he's learning. Right, Cannone's gonna engage. Sees this time. Enokin chooses his moment on the front foot movement of Cannone. And he gets a double, but like it's just barely a double. So we're going to kind of fast forward because I don't think much else. Oh. Alright, this hit is actually just a testament to how strong Cannone is. So let's watch the hit real quick. So he decides to go again on the front foot plant of Cannone. He tries to get that card in. Is it a card? Yeah, it looks like a card, right? So his blade is on top. They're a little too close. Cannone can actually just maintain that and push it through. At that close of a distance with the guy that strong, I gotta tell you, man, like, well played Cannone. But I do think, like, it was kind of Enokin's action, but he was a little too far. A little too rambunctious. Right now, 6-2. Not where you want to be against a sensor like Cannone. So let's see where... The match does get a lot tighter. So let's see where Enokin makes his adjustments. So, a little bold. Takes 8. Cannone, they both miss. Whereas here, Enokin's point in general feels a little wobbly. So that was, in my opinion, that was an Enokin miss, not necessarily a Cannone move. Oh, really well done. So let's see here. See, look how he's like really leading with the tip instead of like his legs doing a lot of the actions. Right, so on the plant, he's already made up his mind. Kind of nicks him on the mask on the way. Was it on the mask? Oh no, just really clean lunge. Boom. So a lot of the actions are really leading with the arm. So this one. So he feels the 8, tries to push it through, but he doesn't quite grab it strong enough or hard enough. This is a very like typical French grip move. Hit, the remise goes through, just see, he doesn't quite grab it, he just kind of taps it a bit. Cannon's still in the money, gets it. So this is where, so I think based on the action, he was just he was trying to surprise him, and he kind of got it. But instead of windshield wiping, Anokin still puts his tip forward, which is why this move is so scary. Because if your opponent doesn't just pure parry, right? So show, pull back. If your opponent doesn't just parry again here, it can be a double or even like out here it's a single, obviously, but so an interesting risk. Obviously, I'm not world champion, so a bit of a risky move, but live and learn. Wow, that toe hit was so casual. Alright, watch how fast we go from a really far distance to a punish. Anokin lands, Cannone lands, and he feels he has it. Right, this is the kind of stuff you need to practice for ages. Beautiful fencing. So let's see here. I remember they give this hit. So let's watch here, right? Because that's where the... I don't know what they're calling it. It depends what they're calling as like being past your opponent. Is it the whole body? It could be our angle too. I guess technically it hits before he's fully passed. And they end up giving this hit. So let me know what you think in comments. I personally don't think this hit is good, but I don't... Maybe they have a better angle on the video replay camera. And funny enough, Cannone just... Something to really admire, he's all business. He just does not get distracted by a weird call. So Cannone's putting on a lot of pressure because he doesn't want to be the victim anymore. Anokin putting some pressure. And pretty stereotypical French, right? You just keep your arm back, last second, give the extension no matter how much they look for the blade. And if you guys are interested, right, I do have a video where I fence Cannone, and his blade is actually so out of the way, right? He doesn't necessarily fence you very straight. It's kind of out here. So the amount of effort you need to go to actually go get information on that blade, really, really hard to get. Oh, so I think Cannone here thought he hit, but not quite. So, right, sometimes you gotta take some risks. Anokin took his. And got that smirk there. He knows what just happened. Not necessarily lucky, but sometimes you make your own luck, right? So, and here, like the tension, you can kind of feel it in the crowd. Like it's just right. It's France versus Russia. Cannone is started like Anokin is getting a bit of momentum. This is a really important hit. He misses the duck, gets his tip in. This is a good hit for sure. Oof. Oh, really good distance. So Cannone obviously really proud of himself. So here, as we said earlier, right, if it could be two parries, but also distance parry, right? Cannone's nowhere near hitting. So when the extension hits, he actually just falls onto the blade and gets hit right in the head. Calling out the body wire, sure. So Cannone really, again, like he's really taken the front foot, right? He wants to be controlling the actions. He's a little closer, and just last second, good double by Cannone. Here Cannone's feeling a little passive. Maybe he's tired, but also so hard to move. So hard to like stop a force like Cannone. Oh, that was close. Let's see. Ho ho ho. Looks, but the action's still very forward. Ho ho ho. Ah. So that was interesting. The kind of setup here. So okay, like I feel like right here on this prep, Cannone can show too much of his hand. Right? Like he should, like by his hand I mean like his poker hand, his play. Because he really swings his arm. Right, and then he tries again. Cannone pulls back and gets it. Good read by Cannone. This is probably one of the nicest hit we'll see in a long time. Like, look at this. Holy shit, it's a helicopter. Right, so show the helicopter, like quite literally show high and go low. Like, that was just mwah, beautiful. Oof. So at a distance, too big of a blade surge against Cannone. He's comfortable. He'll duck under it. So way tighter with the tip. Even though it's a little messy, like Cannone really took charge here. Way tighter on the tip. Like instead of being super wild, it was just very tight on the fingers. Pretty sure to give this, yeah. Oh, that was really good. You see here, contrary to the last one that didn't really work, Anokin like really didn't show what he wanted. Like he started off calm. He showed the opposite of what he wanted to do. He starts off super calm, relatively speaking. Goes in with a more, it looks like he has more of a straight intention, then gets it. So here's getting pretty scary. 14-13, and Anokin's clearly like, he's got the fire. That being said, there's 17 seconds left, right? So Cannone's feeling the heat. So basically, right off the LA, doesn't let him set up. Low. Goes, gets a remise. And then let's look at this interesting gesture. Well, right? So, at first I was like, is he telling the audience to, have a look at his bits and giggles? Apparently he was just saying like that Cannone has cojones of steel for trying action like that at a timing like that. So from my understanding, it was not bad mannered. It was just saying, if anything, it was just complimenting Cannone for the size of his coconuts. So yeah, I think this was honestly easily one of the best bouts of the year. Traditional French grip versus pistol grip. It was emotionally charged, politically charged, what have you. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you.